What's up again, my name is Mars, welcome back to another video. Today here back for my F1 2019 career mode episode 4, and today is a Chinese Grand Prix. If you haven't watched the previous episode last week at Bahrain, I highly recommend you go check it out. It was an absolute fun race, I can say. We're battling with our former teammate Lucas Weber, but today we're going to focus on today's Chinese Grand Prix. And as you can see in the performance chart, we pull a little bit of Toro Rosso, of Alfa Romeo. I should say Toro Rosso is our team, but in general there's not much difference because it's just a third race. So we brought a minor engine upgrade and 2 wear upgrades for the gearbox and the internal combustion engine. If you don't know, I want to invest a lot in the engine part because this Honda engine is not the best on the world. Now things are not that bad because the new patch with the new performance of the cars made the Honda engine a little bit better. So it was kind of a relief, but I want to keep to invest in the engine because I think is the weakest part of the Toro Rosso and the Red Bull as well. So I decided to give, since the first episode of the career mode, the priority to the engine. But now let's see what we can do. Let's go to qualifying, and can we get to top 10? Let's see.
Welcome to Shanghai, China, for what I've no doubt is going to be a fantastic F1 qualifying session. So then, Ant, it's another Grand Prix weekend, another exciting qualifying session ahead of us. What are you going to be looking out for over the next few minutes?
The first question is going to be who can avoid making mistakes. There isn't much margin for error in qualifying, and you have to bear in mind that the track conditions may have changed since practice, particularly as we've had a few support races in the meantime. If the brake bias settings, for example, don't take this into account, it's extremely easy to lock up a front wheel and cause a flat spot. Just like that, your lap's ruined and you've wasted a set of tyres to boot.
We've got a situation at the moment. Seems like something's off with the fuel injection system. We're looking into it, but we're going to be out of action for a few minutes.
Here we are on the garage. It seems that we had a problem and we lost 5 minutes in the session, but here we are already on the track. Just leave our teammates pass because we don't want to interfere. Just formalities, I don't know what I am talking about this, but we are getting ready for our run in qualifying. We're going to have 2 runs. I learned from the last races that I did that I can't do 3 runs because basically if I do 3 runs I don't have much tires available and maybe I can't do 2 stops. So fortunately I learned just in 2 races, but now I know that I'm limited to just 2 runs, sorry. So I'm a little bit rusty in terms of commentary because I had the second phase of exams and I don't record videos for a while, so I'm a little bit rusty on the commentary. But as you can see, as you saw, we are way down the order with a 126.6 in P17, now P18, as we get ready for our last run. So hit the apex, make sure that we have a good exit, make sure not hit the outside cup, not lose. That straight line speed is a minimal thing, but it can make a difference. So here we go, first corner, and we have to be very, very patient in this part of the track because it's a part that you can run wide very easily. So I think the best way to make that corner is be patient. So we are basically matching our previous best, so that's not a good sign. Just improving by 2,000. So not looking good at the moment, but let's see if we can gain time. There was some time left on the table in this lap, so adding to the fast session, really struggling off the course of the weekend in the second sector, sorry, especially in the double left-hander. So maybe it's not going to be a good weekend for us. We're not going to have that weekend like we had in Bahrain, where we scored our first point. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched the episode. I already said that I highly recommend to go check it out. It was a fun race, but focusing on our lap, we're going to gain a heap amount of time in this long right-hander before the straight, where we're going to open the DRS 310 subs. So and we are in P19, so we have a Williams ahead of us, so that's not very good when you have a Williams ahead of you. But let's see, adding to the happen, very good braking zones. I'm really nailing the braking zones this year. I think the brakes, at least for me, for a keyboard player, are more easy. So that's a good sign. And 5/10 up, final corner, and we're going to cross the line, and it's going to be unfortunately just P15. But I think it is what you can do with this car. This car is not a car that should be is supposed to be on the top 10 for now. So yeah, it was an average result. I think I couldn't do any better. We've been beaten by Devon Butler and Lucas Weber. At least we beat our teammate Alex Albon. So it was an okay job, but let's see if we can do better on the race. It's time for the Chinese Grand Prix. Let's go.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. We're here in the Yangtze River Delta today, home of the 16 corners that make up the Shanghai International Circuit. 54% of this 3.3-mile lap is taken at full throttle, and we'll be getting up to speeds of around 200 miles an hour, with DRS assisting the cars down the back straight before they brake into the sharp hairpin at turn 14. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Hamilton, Pierre Gasly, and Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Perez, Butler, and Daniel Ricciardo, Magnussen, Stroll, Lando Norris, and Faber, Thomas, Grosjean, George Russell, and Alexander Albon. Raikkonen and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid, and with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Thanks a lot, Jeff, and welcome guys to the Chinese Grand Prix, and starting in P15. So not the best qualifying. I think we are not on the pace to score points today, but the strategy is one stop. We're going to start on the medians, and then we're going to cross the line on the hard. So I don't like to use the hard tires, but I think the Chinese Grand Prix, at the Chinese Grand Prix, the one stop is the best way to go. So let's see what we can do. 28 laps ahead of us, 5 red lights, and away we go. The lights went pretty fast, to be honest. So let's see what we can do. It was a very bad start. Grosjean already overtaking it as well. The Williams or George Russell. So we're going to stick on the outside line. We have yellow flags. I think I saw a Racing Point sliding through the track, but I think he saved the slide. So no safety car or something like that, so everything ended well. So a little bit of contact, I believe, with Lucas Weber, and now we're trying to regain the position of Grosjean, but he managed to put the throttle down enough to overtake us in that house. Above inside of him, at 10.3, we made a little bit of contact with Kevin Magnussen and with Lucas Weber as well. So not the cleanest start. We're going to try above inside of Lucas Weber, but he just closes the door. Very, very close to contact and lose our front wing, but thankfully everything ended well. So Grosjean now trying something. We're going to force him to go to the inside side of the track and then try to make the switch back. But I think in this case we're going to try to stick around the outside, and we do so, and we get a better exit by going the long way around. But it's still there. We're going to squeeze a little bit to the curb to lose a little bit of traction, and for now we maintain P14, but I think that Haas is very pacey at the moment in these early stages of the Grand Prix, and there he goes on the outside this time. We're going defensive because I'm going to be honest, we're not going to score points in this race, so it's going to be a damage limitation race, but you never know. So there goes Grosjean, much easier, not even with the DRS open, just lap 2, but we're going to stick on this slipstream and try to go around the outside again. So let's see what we can do around the outside. Basically a copy of lap 1 of the lap 1 move, but now we don't have to defend him from the last corner. Intel Pollard. So what I'm thinking now, we're going to make the one stop. I'm hoping that some people make the 2 stop, and then with that we can have some chance to score points. But there goes Grosjean like a rocket ship with the DRS open. He locks up a little bit, heading to the hairpin. We're going to make the switchback move, and we do so, but Grosjean gets the nose in there and he gets ahead of us. But we're going to have DRS, remember, in the start-finish race, so a little bit of understeer with the dirty air, so that doesn't help us out that much. But let's see, slipstream on Grosjean, and but I think he's not going to be enough. So this is the start. I believe it's Lance Stroll, so he's going above inside one of the Red Bull, I believe is Max Verstappen, and oh, okay, that's the reason why I saw Racing Point sliding through the track. That was the reason. I think Stroll was a little bit too opportunistic, and then he's battling with Devon Butler, so he's trying to regain the position. But Devon Butler kept the position in that McLaren. But Stroll is going to have the slipstream, Jesus, I can talk, and going to try around the outside, and he does so. Now he's in front, and now the cone is going to be of him, and he does so. So yeah, it was Verstappen, and yeah, it was just sliding around. I think it was just a racing incident. I think, in my opinion, Stroll was a little bit too opportunistic, but Verstappen closed too much the door. So this is Alex Albon overtaking, I believe it's George Russell, yeah, 63, number 63 on the car. So our teammate not doing very well in these first races of the season, and he is behind us, and now with the DRS open he can make something on Russell. So it's going to be hard because that Williams is a rocket ship on the straight line, the Toro Rosso. Not that much, but up on the inside in the first corner. Can he make that move stick? Squeeze a little bit to the outside side of the track, the Williams, but he's going to make... Russell is still there. Now he has the inside, and they are losing time to each other, to me. And I'm not entirely sure who has the better pace, me or Albon, but we need to make sure that we have a gap to break the DRS window. But Russell swipes across Albon and gets that position. So a very, very nice battle between the back of the field, and now the first stoppers are starting to come. And he's going to be the Ferrari or Charles Leclerc. I believe that Sebastian Vettel is leading the Grand Prix. If not, it's Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. So he's going to stop. He's going to dress a brand new set of BD tire. It was on the softs because he qualified to Q3 with those softs. And Verstappen is in the same strategy. So I believe that they're going to the 2-stop, but even with the 2-stop, they're going to be ahead of us, so that's not much of a problem. And Sergio Perez is making the same strategy as well for Devon Butler. And basically, the guys that start on softs are going to make the 2-stop strategy without a doubt. So, and Ricciardo as well is with the soft tire. So I think there's not too much to play around. Now we have Sebastian Vettel, and yeah, he's going to dress a brand new set of medium tire as well, Lewis Hamilton. So at the front, in the top 10 guys are making the 2-stop, so, and Verstappen as well. So what I'm hoping for now is that the top 10 that are making the 2-stop, like I see, for example, Nico Hulkenberg. I think we're not going to battle the top 3 teams, that's not going to happen. I'm hoping that the 2-stoppers of the midfield, we can catch them, and that this 1-stop can pay off, and round the outside goes Charles Leclerc. We're going to try to give a little taste of our medicine, and we do so, and we kept behind him, but Leclerc has so much space in that Ferrari with brand new set of medium tires, and there he goes, very easy. That Ferrari is a little bit of a rock ship, a little bit of contact, so that was very kind. I was too aggressive, but Leclerc is very, very slow. He locks up a little bit, we made contact, and thankfully I believe we didn't lose any bits of front wing. No, we didn't, but Leclerc, I wasn't expecting Leclerc to lock up, and yeah, I should brake a little bit earlier. Now we have tons of dirty air, and now we're going to let by Pierre Gasly. We have still DRS, but there's no point. We are the same family, and we make contact with Gasly, so I gotta to admit, I was a little bit distracted. So there's Hamilton on the outside of Lucas Weber. Lucas Weber, I think it was on the podium, because he has so much pace than us in that Alfa Romeo. So he was in the first places of the field, while these guys stopped for the medium tires, and Hamilton didn't even wait for the DRS straight, because he's already ahead. So Hamilton really want to make these moves, and I think Vettel is going to stop still, and Weber start trying something on the outside of Hamilton, but that's not going to work, because Hamilton has a lot of pace in that Mercedes. So I'm not entirely sure if Vettel is leading or not. I believe so. I think you can see in the minimap, starting in the first corner now, Sebastian Vettel has a huge gap to Lewis Hamilton, so Vettel in a league of his own in this Grand Prix. So we are in P11, and Lance Stroll in P10, so we might have a chance to finish ahead of Stroll in this race, but we're going to because I think he's with some issues, so he's going to make the move very easy, so it's not going to be much of a problem, but we're going to still stick on his slipstream, open the DRS, nice camera shot. We can see not very much of Stroll. Now we can see, let's see, up of inside on the happen, and as easy as he does. And now we have a virtual safety car, so unfortunately it's not the pit stop window, and this is why we have the VSC. It's because of Devon Butler that is out of this race. I believe he had a good race in Bahrain like me, but yeah, today is not his day. So now we're going to stop a few laps later, so after that it was a very lonely laps, and we're going to make our final stop, one and only stop for the hard tires. So here's the thing, the guy's on 2 stop of the midfield, and we see Kubica is going to make the same strategy. So here's the deal, if we overtake the guys on the 2 stop, it's going to be hard to maintain it, and I don't think we're going to be on the point still. So some guys are making their stops, and this is lap 14, and Raikkonen leaving the pits. Raikkonen was always behind us, but always on the pace, so I think we have some work to do if we want to finish ahead of Raikkonen. Remember that we had a good battle between them outside of the points in the Australian Grand Prix, so let's see what is going to happen. So these guys that are Nico Hülkenberg is fitting the hard tires, so that's a very interesting call, because he started on softs, fit the mediums, and now he put the hards. I think it's not a very smart strategy, to be honest, because I think the strategy should be soft, medium, and these guys are dressing the hard tires for nothing, because I think the medium tires should be okay with the medium tires, almost sure. So if we finish, we head ahead of these guys, and Raikkonen making this stop and confirms that he's in the same boat as us. So like I said, if we ended this stop phase ahead of the 2 stoppers, it's going to be hard. But I'm not entirely sure if we were going to be on P10. But at the moment we are in P10, and Nico Hülkenberg is behind us. So we have a lot of work to do. So there goes Nico Hülkenberg. Not even did the DRS. He has so much space with those hard tires, and I'm going to be honest. There's no point to battle Hülkenberg, because he has so much space. So unfortunately he's not going to be points in this race, so we have to pray for 1 or 2 DNFs to score points in this race, unfortunately. So lap 19, and yeah, to 10 laps to go. Raikkonen is catching us very rapidly with the DRS. He's going to try something. He's on the outside. Look at the slipstream in that Alfa Romeo, very slippery on the straight line, and we managed to defend Raikkonen, squeeze him off to reduce his traction. And now, as you can see, this is Valtteri Bottas, and he's out of this Grand Prix. As you can see, smoke coming out of the W10, or of the Mercedes W10, and that's race over for him. So we are in P11, and now with Bottas' DNF, we are in the P10 again. But we have Daniel Ricciardo, I believe, and Sergio Perez as well. So no, Ricciardo jumped us, so I think I forgot to show you the overtake on Ricciardo, so sorry for that. It's not going to happen again. But now Perez is trying something, and yeah, the Mercedes engine of that Racing Point is very powerful. We're going to try to come back. We made a late braking, and we're going to stick on the outside. We managed, so despite having Perez having the best tires and the best car. I think his tires are younger than our tires, so because I think he stopped laps later. So we're in P11, so we have to pray for another DNF, but we have to defend from Perez, and we do. So it takes a look at the first corner, but yeah, it didn't work. So now he's going to have the RS, that Mercedes engine. This is why I want to invest in the engine, because look, as easy as you does it, very easy for him. But we're going to try to defend that up of inside again, very close, very tight, but we managed. So he caught a little bit on the cup, so he didn't help us out. And lap 26, and Perez is going to try make something again. So a very good battle outside of the points. Unfortunately, it wasn't our day, and look at the straight line speed of that Racing Point car is ridiculous. And we're going to try again, but now it's very far. We made contact. It was very risky because it was much far than the previous 2 laps. And Perez gets back that position, Jesus. And we're going to have the RS, but I don't think we're going to make something. We are in the slipstream actually, despite the distance, but I think this is not going to make nothing. and unfortunately that was the race. We weren't on the pace basically. This car for the moment is not prepared to be on the points, so we have to, the only thing that we have to do is invest on this car, but for now it wasn't our day, so what we can do now is invest on the engine of this car especially and see if we can do better in the next round.
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
Ferrari have really pulled it out of the bag today. It's a great win. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
And there you go, guys, 0 points in today's episode, but yeah, it wasn't our day, to be honest. But we finished, we started in P15 and finished in P12, so we gained some position. Then Alban as well, driver of the day, starting in P18 and then finished in P13. So it was a very good race for Toro Rosso, inside of what we can do. And yeah, Vettel in the league of his own wins the Grand Prix, and Sergio Perez in P5, so capitalizing with Bottas's DNF, and now we dropped into P9 in the Constructors, so we are the worst team that score points so far in this season. So my objective for now is try to finish in P7 or P6 with the development. So that was a race, so we gained some resource points, you know, so it wasn't the end of the road.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. How do you think Devon will react to having not been able to finish today's race?
Let's be a little bit cheeky here, because I don't have good memories with Devon, and we're going to the below option. He probably will wishing had a car as reliable as mine.
Lucas flew through the pack in that race. What's his secret?
Definitely he sliced through the frill today, so let's be a little bit sportsmanship, saying that he's a very good driver and he works a lot, so I know that from the F2 Championship.
You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
Here I decided to compliment the power unit, because it really allowed us to defend some positions, especially on Grosjean in the first stages and Perez as well. So yeah, I decided to compliment the power unit.
Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
And to end this interview, we're going to be a little bit showmanship, because I like to be like that. And yes, they are. I do just see the smiles on their faces.
Great. Well, that's everything.
And we finished the 4th episode of my F1 2019 career mode. So it was a very good race in what we could do in the Toro Rosso. It's not the car to be on the points for now, so we received a little bit of resource points, gained even more points to the rivalry on our teammate, and now we have the possibility to choose another rival, and we have some good options. I was a little bit undecisive between Lucas Weber and Devon Butler, but in the end I decided to go with Devon Butler, because Lucas Weber is so OP at the moment, so, and when we lose a rivalry, we lose a lot of reputation. I don't want to risk, especially in our first rivalry, so we decided to go with our former F2 rival Devon Butler in the McLaren, and now the objective is score points, beat Alban and Devon Butler in the next few races. So that was the episode. Let's say the R&D tree. We have the 2 upgrades coming to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, to the chassis part and to the aerodynamic part, and now we're going to buy a new upgrade for the durability part. I thought to buy at the engine side things, but the upgrade would be ready for the Monaco Grand Prix, and the engine at Monaco is not a big deal, so I decided to wait a weekend to be ready for the French Grand Prix or the Canadian Grand Prix, because I think Monaco you don't need much straight line speed, so I decided to invest a little bit on the wear side of things. watching. So that was the episode, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe channel if you're new to see more Formula 1 content. Really motivates me to make more. Career mode hasn't been very frequent in these days on the channel because I had some exams, but finally I finished them. So now I'm ready to post a little bit of more videos. So I'm not entirely sure how many I'm going to put, but at least 2 per week. I'm going to make. The ideal is 3, but at least 2 I promise that I'm going to post. So really like this career mode. I want to continue. I want to reach Red Bull to win the championship. But for now it's time to say goodbye. My name is Tomasz, and I'll see you guys for a brand new video next time.